The Americans have played across the border many times this season, but the battle for the Falls is nearing an end. Cross-border rivals, including this first Monday evening matchup of the season. It's the Americans, it's the Ironbacks, it's PGCBL baseball right here on the Americans Baseball Network.
That the ace of the Giant pitching staff that season was Niagara Falls native Sal Magley. A league low 2.71 earned run.
They chose Niagara Falls because of the stadium, because of the history, because they believe in Niagara Falls.
Tickets, 7. 1-6-2-5-61. We play just
is hammered to right field.
Go, baby, go, baby, go.
Come here,
go,
fence.
Baby.
That ball is way out of here.
Welcome into George Taylor Field. I'm Andrew Roberts, and this is Americans and Ironbacks for the 11th time this season. The Americans up 9-1 in the season series, and I will be your play-by-play broadcaster for all the action today. And it's been an eventful day here for the Americans. A lot of big announcements that we'll get to in just a moment, the first of which, there was a player drafted for this Americans team. Matt Barr has been selected by the Minnesota Twins in the 5th round with the 149th overall pick. So Barr will be joining that Minnesota team, and it's the first player in its history to be drafted into Major League Baseball. Very impressive achievement for this team and for the PGCBL at large. So a big shout out to Matt Barr. May not have gotten the chance to pitch for the Americans, but was a member of the team, cheering on his teammates from the sidelines. Very valuable member of the squad. Speaking of achievements for Americans players, Gavin Boyle has won the PGCBL Player of the Week this week. Boyle, 10 for his last 20, a .500 batting average with 4 extra base hits, including a home run, 9 RBIs, and an OPS of 1427. He's boiling hot. And we'll see if that continues tonight. He'll be batting 3rd in the lineup. It's going to be something to watch for throughout this game. And as we see all these accomplishments for the Americans, we'll take a look at where they stand amongst the rest of the division in just a moment. So the Muck Dogs and Tarp Skunks in the top 2 spots right now. If the season ended today, those 2 teams would get a home game in the West Division playoffs. The Americans right behind in 3rd place. Double Days at 18-10-5, hanging on for now to that 4th playoff spot. But the Pioneers knocking on the door. They've won 3 of their last 4 over a pair of doubleheaders. Newark Pilots in 5th, 7.5 games back, and that's the last team in these standings that has a chance at the playoffs. The Red Wings and Ironbacks have been mathematically eliminated from playoff contention. So we will have baseball underway here at George Taylor in just a few minutes. And while we wait, we'll give you a look at the American starting lineup. Grant Moore in center field leading things off, batting .410 to lead the league. Alan Ramos batting 2nd, playing shortstop. Gavin Boyle, the player of the week in left field and batting 3rd. Graydon Miller, who hit a home run last time here, the cleanup man. Paul Delanto, the DH, bats 5th. Tommy Mathay in right field batting 6th. Chris Gazaldo at 3rd base bats 7th. Connor Kiefer in the 8-hole batting 8th, playing 2nd base. Nick Pass doing the catching to round things out. And that lineup is being announced out on the field as well. Ironbacks will be taking the field in just a moment. We'll give you a look at their lineup before things start here. Matt Evans in center field will lead things off. Carter Shin batting second, leads the team in batting average at .372. Alex Keene in right field batting third. Andrew Bishop, the cleanup man, playing first. Marcus Butts doing the catching and batting fifth. Carter Kipp at third, bats sixth. Nolan Phelan in left field to bat seventh. Devin Medor is the extra hitter and batting eighth. Caden Wilson, the DH, batting ninth. And Kakaru Tsukamoto, the second baseman, to round things out. Ironbacks coming out to the field now, but we was here on the broadcast ahead of the national anthems, O Canada, as well as the Star Spangled Banner coming up here at George Taylor.
Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet and make some noise for the starting lineup for your Niagara Ironbacks. Leading off, the center fielder, number 21, Matt Evans. Batting second is the shortstop, number 5, Carter. Batting third, the right fielder, number 25, Alex Keene. Batting cleanup is the first baseman, number 10, Andrew Bishop. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 15, Marcus Butts. Batting sixth, the third baseman, number 29, Carter Kipp. Batting seventh, number 24, Nolan Phelan. Batting eighth is the extra hitter, number 7, Devin Medor. Batting ninth is the designated hitter, number 22, Caden Wilson. And batting 10th, number 1 is our second baseman, Kakaru Tsukamoto. On the mound this evening for the Ironbacks, our starting pitcher, number 13, Derek Riseberry. The Ironbacks team manager is Richard Griffin. He's assisted by coach Mike Nightingale. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise. If you're able, remove your caps and sing along if you'd like as we honor both Canada and the United States. First, the national anthem of the United States will be played, followed by the singing of O Canada.
back to Ironbacks.
Welcome back to George Taylor Field. It's the Americans and Ironbacks getting ready for some baseball. And as the Americans get ready to bat, we'll introduce you to the Ironbacks starting pitcher. Today's starter is Derek Reesberry. Product of University of Mary, is 0-2 with a 9 ERA and 10 strikeouts on the season. And he will be facing the first three of the Americans order: Grant Moore, Alan Ramos, and Gavin Boyle, the PGCBL Player of the Week in the West Division. So, big moment coming up for Boyle. Looking to expand on his very hot week. 10 for his last 20. I mean, he is sweltering, and it's sweltering outside. 85 degrees just about for first pitch. It's been a hot couple of weeks here, but baseball will still be played. Apologize in advance for any technical difficulties that may cause the broadcast. Going fairly smoothly at the time being, but could run into some issues later on, so apologies in advance for that. But in this top of the first inning, Grant Moore set to lead things off for Niagara Falls. 410 hitter, 1066 OPS, and 25 RBIs. Here comes Grant Moore as we begin this top of the first inning from George Taylor. Derek Reesberry gets ready for his first pitch of the night. Here's the pitch. Just in there on the outside edge for strike one on Grant Moore. Moore was also a PGCBL Player of the Week back in week 1. Fouls that off to make it 0-2 to Grant. Product of Mount Vernon Nazarene University. Looking to set the stolen base record there when he goes back in the spring. Liner into left center field for the base hit. Grant Moore gonna stop there. He thought about second, but base hit for Grant Moore to lead things off. He's had so many leadoff hits this season. 31 game on base streak just snapped in game 2 of the doubleheader on Saturday, but getting a new one going here as Grant Moore continues to add to his league-leading batting average. Alan Ramos follows him up. That's a foul ball down the right side. And Ramos, 273 hitter, 693 OPS. Also recently had a 7-game hit streak snapped, but been very consistent throughout the season. Reached base in all but one of the games he's played with the team this season. And he's a rising freshman, so this is his first time in collegiate level baseball, and it's 2 strikes to him. Ramos looking to advance Grant Moore. These two can get on the base paths together. It's one of the speediest duos on the team. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful on Moore. Very hard to catch him that way. Ramos. The 0-2 pitch. He takes it, and it's in there on the breaking ball for strike 3. Derek Reesberry has out number 1 with Grant Moore on. And here comes Gavin Boyle. Gavin Boyle, PGCBL Player of the Week this week. At 500 batting average and 1427 OPS over his last 6 games. So I would argue the hottest hitter on this team right now. Looking to advance Grant Moore, and 9 RBIs this past week, 17 on the season. So many of those have been because he's had the opportunity to drive in Grant. Batting in that 3 spot, right behind Grant in the 1 hole, and that drops low. Grant Moore takes second. And what appears to be a wild pitch. We'll wait for confirmation. Nick passed. Went out of his glove. after dropping low near the dirt. Boyle now has Moore in scoring position. Very familiar situation for Gavin as he takes a second ball. Will be ruled a wild pitch. To advance Moore, and he has a lead towards third, looking for stolen base number 34. Finds the outside edge of the zone. That's the part that Reesbury's liked against these lefties. But only batter he has struck out was the right-hander Ramos, that same-handed matchup. Typically, pitcher the advantage. Outside ball 3 to Gavin. Just a little further out and higher up than the outside edge strike the pitch before. But a 3-1 count puts Boyle in a good position here. High chopper heads Tsukamoto's way at second to throw to first in time, but it's a productive out. It advances Grant Moore to third base, 2 down, and Graydon Miller has the chance to score more. Miller, 347 hitter on the year, 846 OPS, 1 homer, 25 RBIs. In his second year with the Americans, was a big piece of this team last year as well, and a staple at first base. By far exceeded his RBI total from a year ago, 14 beaten by 25 as that pitch goes behind him. Grant Moore scores easily on it. The Americans up 1-0 in this top of the first after the miscue from Reesbury. Pair of wild pitches allowing Moore to take second and come home after he advanced to third on the Boyle groundout. Another high chopper, this one towards Kip at third. The throw across the field is in time for out number 3, but the Americans managed to score Grant Moore after the leadoff knock. We'll send it to the bottom of the first and give you a reminder of the Ironbacks lineup after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
We bring you back for the bottom of the first inning. Give you a quick look at that Ironbacks lineup before introducing the American starting pitcher. Matt Evans, Carter Shin, and Alex Keene due up to face the Americans pitcher in this first inning. Andrew Bishop and Marcus Butts each have a home run to their names, so very comfortable in that 4 or 5 spot. Kip, Phelan, Mador, Wilson, and Tsukamoto will round things out. To face Hudson Boring, the American starting pitcher. He's been a starter-reliever hybrid this season, and he's 1-0 with a 2.70 ERA and 19 strikeouts. Product of Panola College. And was a little bummed that Brock Granger's not in the lineup for the Ironbacks tonight, as it could have been a Panola versus Panola matchup. Early ball on the count to the leadoff man, Matt Evans. Again, low for ball 2. Evans, fairly new to the Ironbacks, made his debut with the team last time these teams faced off. Committed to go to Texas A&M Corpus Christi for his next year of baseball. Line shot up the middle for the base hit. Goes over the head of Alan Ramos and short of Grant Moore. Ironbacks have an early base runner. This is mirroring how the Americans started their inning thus far. Carter Shin up next for Niagara, Canada. Americans had just 4 batters up in that first inning, but a combo of wild pitches and productive outs allowed Grant Moore to come around to score after a leadoff single. Matt Evans with a single of his own now as Carter Shin, the shortstop, bats next. First pitch from Boring is low and away for ball 1, just outside the strike zone. Carter Shin, 372 hitter, leads the team in that metric. 897 OPS, second to Connor Gatens, and 18 RBIs. Just in there on the outside edge, breaking ball for strike 1. Boring now an even count against the new batter Shin. Shin, another one of those University of Mary guys for the Ironbacks. They have a handful of them. Marcus Butts and Derek Reesberry, the others playing today. 1-1 from Hudson is a foul ball down the first base line. Going to go out of play to make it 1-2. Hudson Boring looking for his first strikeout. This is almost freakishly identical at this point. Derek Reesberry also struck out the second batter for the Americans. If Boring can do that here, it would be twin stat lines over the first 2 batters faced. Boring delivers on the 1-2. It's another foul ball. And Evans thought about second, but headed back. Evans gets to have an RBI this season. I mean, large part because he's the leadoff hitter, but Shin with 18 of them looking to knock in Matt. Lines that into left field. Coming for it is Gavin Boyle. He makes the grab for out number 1. Matt Evans retreats to first base, and the Americans have retired 1 as Alex Keene comes up to bat with Evans still on first. Unlike Moore, does not advance on the out. And Hudson Boring keeping his control in the early going against these Ironbacks. Has been very effective, whether he's a starter, whether he's a reliever. A rock for this Americans pitching staff thus far. Boring pitches one low and away for ball 1. We'll have those occasional misses, but all in all, has just been an excellent presence on this Americans team. And has the 1-0 lead right now to work with in this bottom of the first. Foul ball evens things up, one's across the board. Matt Evans had taken off for second base. Will have to retreat. Boring to face the Moorhead State product Keene with the 1-1 count. 300 hitter both at school and for these Ironbacks. Not quite the OPS he had at college, but that's a high fly ball in the left field foul territory. Drops right near the fence to the Americans bullpen. Far out of reach for the left fielder Boyle. Gavin Boyle has really put his body on the line this season to catch some foul balls. Not going to there. Just not worth it to risk running into the bullpen fence. Keene looking to advance Matt Evans on the 1-2. It's low, but finds the low edge of the strike zone. Hudson Boring has his first strikeout of the day. 2 down on these Ironbacks. Evans has been stranded on first base since his leadoff knock. Andrew Bishop, the last chance to advance him. Product of Georgia Highlands Community College. 260 batting average, 650 OPS, 1 homer, and 18 RBIs on the season. Ground ball to Kiefer at second, and he loses that one into the outfield. See what the ruling is, hitter error, but it'll be runners on the corners for the Ironbacks. Evans finally advances. Kiefer just misses that ball. And the Ironbacks have a runner in scoring position for Marcus Butts, the catcher. Threatening to tie this game in the very first inning after the Americans took a 1-0 lead with Grant Moore coming around to score on a wild pitch. Boring. First pitch to Butts is low and away for ball 1. Hudson Boring has liked those edges so far. He's had mixed results with this home plate ump. Boring nods and gets set for the 1-0 pitch. Now delivers. Breaking ball ends up on the outside corner again for ball 2. It'll be ruled an error on Connor Kiefer. Kiefer, very much a roller coaster defender. Has his errors, but also some great catches over the course of the season. That's up the middle and bounces off second base. Run comes around to score. It's still runners on the corners. Base hit for Marcus Butts to drive in the first run of the day for Niagara, Canada. Bishop advances to third. Graham Moore, the cutoff man, keeping Bishop at third, but Carter Kipp the chance to drive him in as it's a tie ball game. Run will go down as unearned for Hudson Boring due to the Kiefer error. Breaking ball is a high chopper to Gazaldo at third. Run comes through, but it will not count. Graydon Miller makes the tag for out number 3. We'll send it to the top of the second after the break.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Bring you back for the top of the 2nd inning, and this 2nd inning here on the Americans Baseball Network is brought to you by Bully Hill Vineyards, a great place to grab lunch and taste over 40 different wines. Go to bullyhillvineyards.com for more. So the Americans will start things off with Paul Delanto in this inning. The DH, a couple of strikeouts in his last game, looking to turn things around. Tommy Mathay and Chris Gazaldo will follow him up in this Americans order. So 2 straight Panola hitters after Delanto in those 6 and 7 spots. Ironbacks tied this up in the bottom of the 1st. It was a Marcus Butts single to advance Bishop to 3rd and score the first run of the game, Matt Evans. Bishop reached on an error to advance Evans from first base to 3rd base. Paul Delanto, we're going to retake the lead for these Americans in this top of the 2nd. Breaking ball in there for strike 1 down the pike. Delanto did not bite. A lot of swings and misses on Saturday. Looking to show some more patience here in this one, but patience so far is leading to down the middle strikes that he's taken. 234 hitter. Gonna get that back up. Line shot into deep left field. Coming over is Nolan Phelan and runs over to make the grab for out number 1. Paul Delanto, real nice contact on it, but Phelan matches it with some nice running through left field. And Tommy Mathay up next with 1 down. Mathay, 149 hitter, 443 OPS. Multi-hit game against the Pios on Saturday. Going to build on that momentum. Outside ball 1 to Mathay. Mathay was the only runner to score in the game 2 that the Americans won 1-0. Gavin Boyle knocked him in with an RBI double. after Mathey had a double of his own. In the bottom of the 6th of that game. And there's another line shot into the left field side for the base hit by Tommy Mathey. Mathey on early for these Americans. It's their second hit of the day. That knots them up again with the Ironbacks. Chris Gazaldo up next with Mathey on base. And these two, if they could get on base together, they've been teammates in college. They've been teammates here. Some great chemistry on the base pass as Mathey takes a lead towards second. Upstairs, ball 1 to start things off. Gazaldo, 306 hitter on the year, 716 OPS. Pickoff attempt unsuccessful. Gazaldo was one of the 3 players in this Americans lineup named a PGCBL midseason All-Star, batting 1st, 4th, and 7th in this order. Will Cordero spreading them out so that every 3 batters face for these Ironbacks will include an All-Star. Mathey increasing his lead, and it's another outside pitch. Early 3-0 count to Chris Gazaldo. If he can walk here, would put both Panola runners on for Connor Kiefer. Kiefer's another one who's had a hot bat, 7 for his last 14. That is just inside, and Chris Gazaldo takes the walk on 4 pitches from Reesbury. Not what you want to do if you're Derek, but 2 ducks on the pond. Connor Kiefer up next. 325 hitter, 813 OPS, 4 RBIs, 2 of which have come over the last couple days. And Connor Kiefer looking to knock in Mathey, the lead runner from second base. Kiefer, a product of Alfred State. Recent graduate there, takes the inside, strike 1. Finds that inside edge of the zone. Kiefer has extra NCAA eligibility as he spent his first couple years at Monroe Community College, which did not count against his college eligibility. Gets hit on the head. Hope he's all right, but he takes first base to load things up for Nick Pass, the catcher. Pass, last time he was here, hit a home run. And he'll have just 1 down and the bases juiced. Big opportunity for Nick against Derek Reesbury. Grant Moore on deck, but Nick passed. The chance to do some damage of his own before Grant comes up. First pitch from Derek is behind him, and everybody goes. Paul Delanto into, or rather Tommy Mathey in to score, but the Americans up 2-1. It's been exactly 1 run every single inning by each team thus far in this game. So now, Gazaldo on third, Kiefer on second, and Nick passed. After taking a pitch behind him, still has 2 runners in scoring position. This could get ugly real fast for the Ironbacks if they cannot shut down Nick. Reesbury has thrown a couple behind these batters. Not what you want to do, especially at the collegiate level. Foul ball to make it 1-1. 1's across the board to Nick. Kiefer and Gazaldo, infielders for this team, looking to come in on a knock from the catcher past. We'll see if he can get his first of the day here. Another foul ball for strike 2. Pass certainly has his swing, but can he get it to work in fair territory with 2 strikes on the count? No wiggle room left for Nick. 210 hitter, 674 OPS, but 7 RBIs. Looking to add to that, and he gets hit on the shoulder. 2 consecutive hit batsmen for Derek Reesbury, and a wild pitch in between reloads the bases, and the Americans bringing up Grant Moore with the bases juiced. Just about the last batter you want to see with the bases loaded if you're the Ironbacks. Moore 1 for 1 already and takes a far outside ball 1. Derek Reesberry has liked that righty batter's box in this second inning. Hit a couple righties and threw a couple wild. Ground ball right to first base. They'll try for the double play. Back and forth between the first baseman and catcher. Butts and Bishop retire the side. The Americans held to just one run. They strand the bases loaded. We'll send it to the bottom of the second after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We bring you back for the bottom of the second inning. Niagara Falls Americans baseball, they lead 2-1 over the Ironbacks here at George Taylor Field. And fans, this season you can get the latest Americans gear, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, baseballs, and much, much more. Stop by the merchandise stand, buy concessions at any Americans home game. The Americans will be back home tomorrow night. We'll take on the Batavia Muck Dogs. First pitch in that one will be at 6:30 from the barbershop. Batavia in first place right now. Americans, a tough test after this Ironbacks game, and then another tough test following that against the second place Jamestown Tarp Skunks. They'll have a 3-game set against Jamestown, 2 of which will take place at Sal Magley. The middle game will be in Jamestown. Hudson Boring back out for the second inning of work. Nolan Phelan to kick things off for the Ironbacks. Will be followed up by Devin Medor and Caden Wilson. Americans scored one and got back to the top of their order in the top of this inning. Ironbacks looking to answer back for the second time today. It's been back and forth thus far. Every team has scored a run every inning. Can the Ironbacks keep the trend going? First pitch from Boring this inning is low on the breaking ball for ball 1 to Nolan Phelan. Phelan, a 171 hitter, 528 OPS. Traveled with the Welland Junior Jackfish prior to his time with the Ironbacks. Fly ball into left field foul territory, and Chris Gazaldo coming from third to chase it down. It's out of his range. But one's on the count. A couple of lost caps in foul territory. Both Alan Ramos and Chris Gazaldo lose their hats from the left side of the infield, coming to chase down that foul ball. Gavin Boyle didn't move from left. His infielders were tracking that down from the very beginning. So he knew he was all good to stay in place, save his energy. Pitch from Boring is just outside and low for another ball. So that fly ball foul, the only strike so far in this second. Boring, the 2-1 pitch is another one lined into left field. It's going deep and back to the wall, but foul. Over the wall, but in foul territory. What I like to call a foul home run for Nolan Phelan. So some impressive power shown there, but just a little early on the contact. Ironbacks had the chance to tie up this game with their 5th home run as a team this season. First 4 have been by 4 different batters. Andrew Bishop with 1, Marcus Butts with 1, as well as Granger and Gatens, who are out of the lineup tonight. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strikeout for Hudson Boring to kick off this inning. A couple of close calls on those foul balls, but Boring will take care of this himself for his second strikeout of the day. Devin Medor, the extra hitter, up next. Batting 198 with a 467 OPS. Has spent the last year at SUNY Niagara, played with a lot of these Americans, so very familiar with them. First pitch from Hudson is a big cut and miss on the outside strike. Devin Medor chasing that pitch. The extra hitter has primarily played infield for this team. Breaking ball stays inside. Boring was looking for the backdoor slider, but doesn't break quite enough. Puts ones across the board to Devin. Just outside on the low corner for ball 2. Caden Wilson, the DH on deck. DH and EH in back-to-back spots in the order. The 8 and 9 followed up by the second baseman Kakeru Tsukamoto, essentially serving as sort of a second leadoff man for the Ironbacks. Foul tip behind the plate for strike 2 to even things back up in this at-bat. Hudson Boring looking for a second consecutive strikeout. Can he get one against Medor? In this right-on-right matchup, theoretically the advantage should be to Hudson. See if that's executed. Foul ball again into the fence behind home plate to keep Medor alive. Devin Medor, the number 6 shortstop in Ontario's 2024 Prep Baseball Report class. Got him that SUNY Niagara commitment, but will head elsewhere after year 1. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss again. Devin Medor chases another pitch from Boring. Hudson Boring has struck out 2 consecutive batters to start the second inning. Caden Wilson looking to avoid being the third in a row. But Wilson adding just 067 on the year with a 219 OPS. Here from Jamestown Community College alongside his college teammate Jacksar Curry. Originally from St. Catharines. Outside ball 1 to Wilson. Jacksar Curry has been injured in the recent stretch, so hasn't played in many games of late. Wilson takes another low for ball 2. One of the skinnier guys on the team. Tall and narrow frame. Takes one low for strike 1. Just finds that low edge of the zone. Boring. Looking to strike out the side in this second inning. Another one low though for ball 3. Gonna have to refine that strike zone to get back in this count and complete the 1-2-3. Regaining his feel for the baseball on this 3-1 pitch. Here it is. Swing and a miss to fill up this count. Hudson Boring still has a shot to do something incredible here in the second. Wilson, primarily a righty, but batting from the left side to face Hudson. And thinks he has ball 4, but it's a called strike 3 on the inside corner. Hudson Boring strikes out the side. We send it to the top of the third after the break.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the third inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
PGCBL West Division All-Star Hudson Boring showing why he's on that All-Star list. Just struck out the side on these Ironbacks. As we come back for the top of the third inning, Alan Ramos due up alongside Gavin Boyle and Graydon Miller to face the starting pitcher Derek Reesberry. Top of the third, as well as the entire third inning, brought to you by Greater Niagara Federal Credit Union, Geico of Buffalo, Sammy's Pizza, and McDonald's. Every home game, the Americans score 3 runs. Everyone that's in the stands gets a free McCafe Frappe to go home. And I mean, McDonald's getting some publicity of late, recently bringing back the snack wrap, and I have been obsessed. I've already had 4 of them. A couple of 2 snack wrap meals. Keeps me full for more than just a snack when I get them in pairs. But Alan Ramos leads things off in this top of the third, takes one over his head for ball 1. Derek Reesberry's command has been a little all over the place in this game. Breaking ball stays outside for ball 2. And Reesberry just struggling to find that strike zone. Ground ball to the second baseman, Tsukamoto, throw to first in time for out number 1. Alan Ramos retired to start off this inning. Gavin Boyle up for the second time today. Boyle grounded out to advance Grant Moore the last time up to bat. And Derek Reesberry has thrown 33 pitches, just 18 of them for strikes thus far. Boyle, 10 for his last 21, takes the outside ball 1 on the breaking ball. Boyle missed the All-Star team, but perhaps one of the biggest snubs after that PGCBL Player of the Week award that he got this past week. Another outside ball to Gavin here. 2-0 pitch. Will be low and in, but does not find that strike zone. It's 3-0 to Gavin. Reesberry looking to avoid the 4-pitch walk, but he cannot. It's upstairs. Gavin Boyle takes first base for the first time today. Graydon Miller up next looking to advance him. Miller, as I mentioned earlier, had a home run the last time he played at George Taylor Field. It was his first of the season, but he does have 25 RBIs. An extra base knock could score Gavin Boyle here. That's a soft dribbler in the shallow infield. Throw to first is in time for out number 2, but Gavin Boyle advances to second on that out. Paul Dolanto bats next. 0 for 1 on the day. Made contact, which is a better start than he had against Elmira on Saturday. Some hard contact as well, but a nice grab by Nolan Phelan. Retired him the first time around. This time he'll look for his first hit of the day with Boyle in scoring position. Takes an outside ball 1 instead. Delanto's patience paying off here after Reesberry was able to take advantage of it the first time facing Delanto. He's starting to lose his control, and it's another wild pitch. Gavin Boyle all the way to third now on the second ball to Paul. Paul is taking balls early in this count. Product of Stony Brook. His first summer with the Americans. He's had mixed results, but one thing's for sure, he drives in runners. Line shot into the shallow outfield. Backing up is Tsukamoto to make the catch for out number 3. Kakaru Tsukamoto saves the run. The Americans lead 2-1, so we send it to the bottom of the third.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dandy.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the third inning as we settle in for this night of PGCBL baseball. Give you a look around the league. Americans and Ironbacks, the only West Division teams playing tonight. There's action over in the East Division. The Utica Blue Sox leading the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs 1-0. Boonville Lumberjacks and Oneonta Outlaws set for a pair of games today, as well as Glen Falls and Saugerties. Those are the only other teams playing in the entire league tonight. Tomorrow, most of the rest of the West Division starts back up. Elmira headed to Geneva, Jamestown headed to Newark, and the Batavia Muck Dogs come barking into Niagara Falls. First pitch in that one will be at 6:30 p.m., and you can come to Sal Magli to catch that game or tune in right here on the Americans Baseball Network, where we'll have all the coverage. It's Kakaru Tsukamoto first. He shows bunt. It goes foul. Tsukamoto looking to show if good defense to end that inning can lead to good offense. He backed up for the line shot to prevent a Paul Delanto knock. Now looking to get his first hit of the day himself. Tsukamoto on the year batting .227 with a .591 OPS. Takes the ball outside from Hudson to put ones on the count. Tsukamoto comes from Hosei University in Japan. Loves Japanese MLB players like Masataka Yoshida and Yusei Kikuchi. Takes a low edge strike 2 from Hudson Boring. The 1-2 pitch to Tsukamoto is a shallow fly ball into left field. Gazaldo chasing it down. It drops foul again. Chris Gazaldo has been putting his heart and soul into chasing down those foul balls, but they've just been out of reach for him so far. Unfortunate outcome for Chris, and loses his hat again. Same deal for Alan Ramos, who joined him on that foul ball chase for the second time today. Boring has the count in his favor. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss for strike 3. It's his 5th strikeout of the day. Hudson Boring off to a fantastic start against these Ironbacks. Hudson Boring got to speak with him before his start, and he said his main goal for tonight was to get ahead in counts early, and so far, that has proven true. Getting ahead in these counts, and it has led to strikeouts. When he brings that swing and miss stuff with the 2-strike count, it has been deadly. Outside ball 1 to the leadoff man, Matt Evans, up for the second time today. He's 1 for 1 with a single. One of just 2 Ironbacks with a hit off Boring today, the other being Marcus Butts, who drove in the run. High pop-up. It's in foul territory again. Gazaldo chasing it down, and he misses that one as well. Alarms were sounding. Press box thought it was going out of play entirely, but instead comes closer to fair territory than Gazaldo expected. Ones across the board to Matt Evans. Evans singled to lead off this game. Can he add his second hit of the day with the bases empty? 1-1 pitch is a high chopper. Foul territory. Rather, it does end up fair. Graydon Miller makes the tag at first. Does it all himself for out number 2. Carter Shin up next as Hudson Boring looks for another 1-2-3 inning. to hold these Ironbacks scoreless since the first, when they scored run number 1 of the day, and Hudson Boring wasn't even charged with that one. Just outside for strike 1. Outside edge, rather. Boring. The 0-1 pitch is lined foul down the first base line for strike 2. Hudson Boring, 1 strike away from strikeout number 6 of the day and number 25 of the year. Would be an unbelievable start for Hudson in his 3rd inning of work. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Instead, it's up the middle and bounces off second base for the base hit. Second base has taken a beating tonight. A couple of hits off that base. 3rd hit of the day for the Ironbacks to put the runner on first for Alex Keene. Carter Shin with that single to bring up Alex. Shin adding to his already high batting average. He's 1 for 2 so far today. Keene looking for his first knock of the day. 0 for 1 with a strikeout. High fly ball into left center field. Grant Moore and Gavin Boyle both there. Boyle makes the catch from left for out number 3. Gavin Boyle, recent PGCBL Position Player of the Week, showing his value at bat and in the field as we send it to the 4th inning after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We bring you back for the top of the 4th inning here on the Americans Baseball Network, as the Americans will have Tommy Mathay due up, as well as Chris Gazaldo and Connor Kiefer. This 4th inning brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 237, by Johnny Ryan, and by Coca-Cola. You get all your Coke beverages at concessions every single Americans home game. Coca-Cola, the official beverage provider at Americans games. Tommy Mathay leads things off for these Americans in the top of the 4th inning. Reese Berry still in to pitch to him, and it's low and away for ball 1. Mathay is 1 for 1 on the day and takes an outside ball 2. Reeseberry has continued to favor that righty batter's box. Has hit a couple right-handed hitters and thrown outside to these lefties all day long. Gavin Boyle took advantage with a walk. Mathay flies it into center field, shallow territory. Evans coming in, makes the grab for out number 1. Mathay, the first batter retired in this top of the 4th. Chris Gazaldo up next. The 3rd baseman walked his first time up. 306 hitter, looking for his first hit of the day with 1 down. Reeseberry taking a quick pause before he delivers on the first pitch to Chris. High chopper foul down the 3rd base line for strike 1 on Chris. Gazaldo, 12 RBIs on the year. Was even better over at Panola, where he batted .370 with a .925 OPS. Swings and misses on strike 2 there. But Gazaldo made the All-Star team here in the PGCBL, and he gets hit on the head. Third right-handed hitter whacked on the upper body by Derek Reesberry. 2 on the top of the head, 1 on the shoulder, but Gazaldo, thankfully, is all right. He takes first base. Connor Kiefer up next. The second baseman looking to advance Gazaldo. And we had a comment on the broadcast the other day telling one of our batters to charge the mound after all these hit-by pitches. Given Reesberry's consistent pitches over that righty batter's box, don't think this is intentional by any means. He's thrown the same thing against righties and lefties. That's over the head of Kiefer for ball 1. Lucky that didn't hit him. The crazy thing about this is it's the bottom 3 hitters in the order that have all been whacked. Ball 2 now to Kiefer. Right at his stomach. A close shave from Reesberry. Kiefer still 7 for his last 14, looking to add to that. And that's a grounder down the third base line, goes foul for the first strike on this count. Gazaldo was ready for second base, but has to go back. Kiefer, second straight righty that Reesberry has to face here. Nick Past would be the 3rd in a row if he gets up to bat in this 4th inning. Ironbacks have already turned 1 double play today. It's between Butts and Bishop. That's a dribbler down the first base line. Foul evens things up on Kiefer. This is his 2nd year in the PGCBL. Played for the Jamestown Tarpskunks a year ago where he batted .207, and this summer batting .325 for the Americans after a monster season at Alfred State where he matched that batting average and had a .1014 OPS, as well as 5 homers and 36 RBIs. He's hit a few doubles for the Americans, but no homers yet. Takes another one inside. It's a full count on Connor Kiefer. Reesberry has already walked 2 batters and hit 3. Will Connor Kiefer be next to take a free bag from these Ironbacks? Payoff pitch is a high chopper foul. Kiefer stays alive, but still up to bat. The second baseman has practically taken over as the primary starter there after Ian Wang had the edge of the position early on. Wang has been away from the team for a few days with some college visiting, but Kiefer has really cemented his role within this Americans team. Here's another payoff from Reesberry, just in there on the inside edge for strike 3. Chris Gazaldo, though, takes second base. So a runner in scoring position after a late strike 3 call. Nick Past the chance to drive Gazaldo in with 2 down. Nick Past was also hit by the pitch his first time up. Just like Gazaldo on his second time and just like Kiefer his first time. Inside for ball 1 on Past. Spent his first 2 years at Eastern Florida State College, but he's from the area. High fly ball into left center field. Looks like it'll drop in the gap and bounces off the wall. Nick Past has a stand-up double. The 2-bagger scores. Chris Gazaldo makes it 3-1 Americans. So Gazaldo easily scores on a deep shot by Nick Past. Had a home run at this ballpark earlier this week. And now the 2-baser to score Chris Gazaldo. 3rd hit of the day for the Americans. Ties them in that column with the Ironbacks, but they scored their first couple runs on wild pitches. Outside ball 1 to Grant Moore now. Moore is 1 for 2 today. A leadoff single to start things off, and now has another runner on. Had the bases loaded last time, and the only run that scored on his at-bat came on a wild pitch. Ball 2 to Moore. Moore grounded into a double play his last time up. It was a weird one. It went right to the first baseman, Bishop. He threw it back to Butts. And then Butts threw it back to first base. High fly ball into deep center field. Backing up is Matt Evans. He makes the grab for out number 3. So Graham Moore retired for the second time today, but the Americans put another run on the board. They lead 3-1 as we send it to the bottom of the 4th inning. Be right back.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Bottom of the 4th inning here on the Americans Baseball Network as we remind you to follow us on all of the American social media platforms. This season you can connect with the Americans like never before with exclusive content on our social media. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. Those @ are on your screen right now. A big shout out per usual to our social media managers, Frankie Morris and Leah Fraun. If you're watching, big thank you for all you do for this team. Andrew Bishop kicking things off for the Ironbacks against Boring in this 4th inning. Foul ball down the third base line. Boyle chasing it down this time. He slides. Almost got it. Hit his foot on the fence, but seems to be all right. Gavin Boyle, the A+ effort on that foul ball. Continuing to put his body on the line for those. Boring the 0-1. Big cut and miss by Bishop. 2 strikes on the count early. Boring looking for strikeout number 6 of the day. Andrew Bishop reached on an error his first time up. The pitch low and away to put the first ball on this count. Andrew Bishop, the only lefty due up for the Ironbacks this inning. Marcus Butts and Carter Kipp will follow him up. A low ball 2 to even up this count. Hudson Boring took the early lead on the count as he anticipated and hoped. But can he finish the batter Bishop on this 2-2 pitch? It'll be right back to Boring off his foot. Miller tries to shovel it to him, but loses track. That was so hard hit, and the Americans were flustered. Runner on first. We'll wait for the ruling as Marcus Butts comes up to bat. Butts, 307 hitter, 771 OPS headed into the day. Added to those numbers with an RBI knock. His first time up to bat in the 1st inning. Couple of quick innings for Boring, forcing Butts to wait until the 4th for his 2nd time up. Up the middle for strike 1 on Butts to start things off with a runner on and nobody out. Marcus Butts takes one outside from Boring to even things up. Hudson Boring still searching for that 6th strikeout of the day. Count is even, and it's a high pop-up in foul territory. Nick Pass chasing after it, but drops into the stands. Crowd going crazy trying to pick up that one. But for Hudson Boring, he'll take it. Count in his favor now at 1-2. Butts, the catcher, looking to advance Andrew Bishop for the 2nd time today. Unfortunately for him, no runner on third this time around, but still has a chance to do some damage. Swing and a miss instead. It's the 6th strikeout of the day for Hudson, his 25th of the year. Hudson Boring has dazzled all day long. Carter Kipp up next. The next one with the chance to advance Bishop, but the Americans have the force play available at first. Potential for a double play to end the inning here. First pitch is lined to Ramos. Catch is made. No double play here, but out number 2 without a budge from first base. Andrew Bishop stays there as Carter Kipp is retired, and Nolan Phelan comes up next. Definitely want catcher. Yeah, I probably want. All right. First pitch from Boring is in there, down the pike for strike 1 to Nolan Phelan. Phelan is 0 for 1 on the day. Struck out swinging his first time up. Big cut and miss there to put him down 0-2 early. So Hudson Boring looking to strike out Phelan for the 2nd time today. It would be his 7th total in this game. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Instead, a line shot past Kiefer for the base hit. Runners on 1st and 2nd now for the Ironbacks. They've upped their tally to 5 knocks in this game. Devin Medor up next. Also 0 for 1 with a strikeout. But hoping to follow up Nolan Phelan by doing the exact same thing he did on his 2nd time up. And if Phelan can hit one like that, Medor with the chance to as well. Line drive further into the outfield this time. Moore dives for it but misses. Run coming around. The Ironbacks narrow the lead to 1. Headed to 3rd is Nolan Phelan. Runners on the corners. Ironbacks have their 2nd run of the game. It's the 1st earned run for Hudson Boring. Hit number 6 of the day for Niagara, Canada. Rather, it will be the 2nd earned run for Hudson. Caden Wilson up next, and it's a foul ball down the 3rd base line, out of play for strike 1. Wilson was also a part of that 2nd inning in which Boring struck out the side. Caden Wilson looking to knock in the runner from 3rd. It's a foul ball again to the left side for strike 2. Nolan Phelan eager to come home. He's the lead runner with Medor on 1st. Back-to-back singles for the 2 of them after they struck out on their first at-bats. Can Caden Wilson join the party and potentially tie this game? Or will Hudson Boring, who's 1 strike away, finish Wilson for the 2nd time in a row? Boring sets for the 0-2. He delivers. It's low and inside. Is taking 2nd base is Devin Medor. Now 2 runners in scoring position for the Ironbacks and a ball on the count. Boring needs this out right here to keep this game in the Americans' hands. Here's the 1-2 pitch. It's a liner into left field, foul, out of reach for everybody. And Matt Evans coming in, bring some balls to the umpire. Evans in the hole for these Ironbacks. Kakaru Tsukamoto on deck. Caden Wilson looking to keep this inning going with 2 down. Can he do it? Looking to climb out of this 1-2 hole. Boring. The 1-2 pitch is a fly ball into the shallow outfield. Moore comes in. Ends up more of a pop-up, though. Ramos makes the grab for out number 3. We'll send it to the top of the 4th inning. Or rather, the top of the 5th inning. And we're right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Top of the 5th inning, as well as the entire 5th inning here on the Americans Baseball Network, brought to you by Tropical Heating and Cooling. Call 716-870-0753 for expert service. Temperature cooling off here after a hot start to the game. But the bats have been fairly hot all day long. The Americans lead 3-2 through 4 innings, and it's a new pitcher that they'll face on these Ironbacks. Ethan Catney Forbes, familiar face for them. He made 2 starts against these Americans, now coming out of the pen for the Ironbacks. 0-4 win-loss record, .563 ERA, and 17 strikeouts. Product of St. Bonaventure. Alan Ramos, first up to face him in this inning. He'll be followed up by Gavin Boyle and Graydon Miller in this top of the 5th. Ramos lines it into right field. Making the grab for out number 1 is Alex Keene. So Ramos retired early. He's 0 for 2 today. And Gavin Boyle to bat next. Boyle 0 for 1 with a walk today. Coming off those Player of the Week honors, looking to build on that resume in this game. Catney Forbes has seen him plenty of time. See what he can do against him here. Outside ball 1. Boyle spent his first 2 seasons at SUNY Niagara, or rather just last season, was at VCU to start off. Big cut and miss to make it 1-1 with 1 down. 1s across the board to Gavin Boyle. Boyle. Be a good time for his 4th home run of the season. He had 4 a year ago with these Americans. Here's the 1-1. Outside ball 2 to Boyle. So Gavin was part of that JUCO World Series run for SUNY Niagara. Took a couple weeks off and then came to play with these Americans, and he has dazzled. That's a foul ball down the third base line, out of play to even things up on Gavin. And Boyle, a high strikeout rate. He's had 21 strikeouts, good for 2nd on the team to Paul Delanto, but at the same time, extra base hits galore for this man. 10 extra base hits leads the entire team. 5 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs. Can he get himself another extra base knock against the pitcher, Katney Forbes? Here's the pitch. It's a big cut and miss. He chases the low one for strike 3. Gavin Boyle represents out number 2 this inning, and Graydon Miller, the last hope to avoid the 1-2-3. Ethan Katney Forbes, it was a rough start to the season for him, but he's really settled in for these Ironbacks, showing why he's a Division I talent. Didn't play much over at St. Bonaventure back this spring. Breaking ball for strike 1 to Graydon. Miller 0 for 2 on the day so far. Product of Drury University, a 2nd-year American. Looking to do some damage with 2 down. Outside ball 1 to him to even things up in the count. Only 3 Americans with a hit so far today, those being Grant Moore, Tommy Mathay, and Nick Past. Ironbacks have doubled up the Americans in that column. Inside and low, but finds the corner for strike 2. Graydon Miller has just 1 strike to work with in this top of the 5th. Looking to avoid being the 3rd consecutive batter retired for Katney Forbes. Can he do it on the 1-2 pitch? Chopper foul to keep him alive. Nice breeze starting up here at George Taylor Field. It's headed inwards, so to the benefit of the pitchers. Hey, without this breeze, Nick Pass would have had his 2nd home run of the year on that deep double, but it's a big cut and miss. Graydon Miller chases the low and away pitch, and 2 consecutive strikeouts for Katney Forbes ends the top of the 5th. We'll send it to the bottom of the inning after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We bring you back for the bottom of the 5th inning. Hudson Boring still going. There are just 2 runs allowed in the first 4 innings of work. Fans, do you or someone you know have a birthday coming up? Why not spend it with the Americans? Packages include 10 tickets, 2 large Sammy's pizzas, 10 drinks, customized Wegmans cake, autographed Americans baseballs and special recognition at the game, starting at just $175. Sign up online at www.niagarafallsamericans.com. Kakeru Tsukamoto set to lead off another inning for these Ironbacks. Truly has been the second leadoff man for this team. He'll be followed up by Matt Evans and Carter Shin. Tsukamoto at second base per usual. First pitch from Boring. He shows bunt and then pulls it back for ball one. Tsukamoto looking to get another knock off of Boring. The Ironbacks have 6 today. Tsukamoto 0 for 1 so far, though. Bunt right there. He tries to beat it out, but the shovel from Boring to Miller for out number 1. Kakeru Tsukamoto, speedy on the base paths, but can't beat that one out. Has stolen a base this year, but hasn't had a large number of opportunities otherwise. Would most likely have multiple for this team. Matt Evans up next. Evans also has a single stolen base. Had some incredible numbers over at Cloud Community College back this spring. 356 hitter, 1037 OPS, 8 homers and 50 RBIs. Looking to have that same success for these Ironbacks. Low and away, and it's 2-0 on this count to Matt Evans. He's 1 for 2 on the day. One of 6 Ironbacks with a hit today. Alongside Shin, Bishop, Butts, Phelan, and Medor. Can he be the first with multiple hits for Niagara, Canada? High fly ball into deep center field. Moore backs up, makes the grab for out number 2. This wind preventing those fly balls from leaving the ballpark. And these outfielders have been busy today on both sides. Grant Moore for the Americans, Matt Evans for the Ironbacks, both center fielders, and Evans retired by the Americans' own superstar in center. Carter Shin up next, looking to avoid the 1-2-3 inning. Tsukamoto retired early, and then Matt Evans on that deep flyout. Strike 1 on the count to Shin. Shin, 1 for 2 on the day, will increase his .372 batting average coming in. Had already led the team. Line shot into deep left center. It's going back. It drops in the deep outfield near the wall. Extra bases for Carter Shin. He has a double. And now a throw a little late coming back from the outfield, but Shin holds up at second. His second hit of the day. He's the first Ironback who can say that in this game. Alex Keene up next. He's looking to join the hit party after an 0 for 2 start to the day. Struck out looking his first time up. Hudson Boring has punched out 6 today. Can he strike out Keene again to end this inning, or will Keene have the chance to knock in Shin with 2 down? Shin represents the tying run. Keene represents the go-ahead. It's fouled off by Keene for strike 1 on that left side, right into the netting behind home plate. Keene, 16 RBIs on the year, looking for his 17th with Shin in scoring position. Also had 38 ribbies over at Moorhead State this spring. 0-1 pitch from Boring coming up. Here it is. It's low and on the breaking ball. Ends up back under the strike zone, but still a ball for Boring. Hudson gonna need to throw the next one a little higher if he wants that backdoor slider to work. 1-1 pitch coming up. Boring sets to face the lefty Keene. Now delivers. Ground ball to Kiefer. Throw to first will be pretty routine in time for out number 3. Graydon Miller completes the final out of the inning. We'll send it to the top of the 6th after the break.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the third inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
We bring you back for the top of the 6th here on the Americans Baseball Network. This 6th inning brought to you by Niagara County Legislator Chris Robins, Laborers Local 91, and Wegmans. Wegmans also a proud sponsor of the birthday package for the Americans as well as the Kids Run. Kids Run will be back tomorrow when the Americans host the Batavia Muck Dogs. First pitch in that one, also 6:30. We'll have all the coverage right here on the Americans Baseball Network. Americans sending Derek Gismondi out to coach first base. He's been a little banged up after tweaking his leg here in Canada during the doubleheader against the Ironbacks. Paul Delanto, though, the first batter for the Americans in this inning. Delanto, the first pitch from Catney Forbes. He lines it right on that first base line. It'll go foul, but nobody going to get there for the out. Strike one on Polly in the early going against Catney Forbes in the top of the 6th. Delanto is 0 for 2 on the day. He's made some nice contact today. No strikeouts just yet. Hoping to avoid that here as well. But hit number 1 would be nice. I mean, 2 nice line shots. Both caught by Ironbacks fielders, but a swing and miss there for strike 2. Delanto, after a pretty patient day at the plate, chooses to chase that one. And it's a costly one. Now no more wiggle room for Paul Delanto as the Ironbacks look for out number 1. Delanto set to be followed up this inning by Tommy Mathay and Chris Gazaldo, pair of Panola hitters. This is a trio that led off the 2nd inning as well. They're up for the 3rd time here in inning number 6. 0-2 pitch inside and keeps Delanto alive as he does not bite. So Delanto looking to climb out of this early 0-2 hole against Catney Forbes. He's seen a lot of Ethan. The 1-2 pitch is outside and low to even things up. Just like that, Delanto has things all knotted in this count. And if this trend continues, Paul Delanto could be looking at a walk here. He's had 14 on the season. That's good for a tie for 2nd on the team behind Grant Moore. Grant Moore far ahead at 26, but no one else with more than 14. Here's a 2-2 from Catney Forbes. It's inside again. 3 consecutive balls. Paul Delanto wasn't sure what the call was going to be there, but happy to stay alive here as the count is all filled up for Ethan Catney Forbes. Delanto gets set for the payoff pitch. Here it is. And it's a ground ball to the third baseman, Kip. He bobbles that. The throw to first, not in time. Paul Delanto reaches first base. We'll wait for the call. But Delanto's on to start this inning for the Americans. And Tommy Mathay will have the chance to advance him. Mathay has 3 hits in his last 2 games. Looking to add to that tally. He's 1 for 2 in this one. Goes in as the first error of the day for the Ironbacks. Americans and Ironbacks now each have one. Delanto a slight lead on first base. Being a little careful here. Outside ball one to Tommy. Mathey. Another extra base hit could help out here. He had a double in his last game against the Pioneers on Saturday. Just on the outside edge of the strike zone to even things up. Paul Delanto reaches on the air. Won't help his batting average, but it'll help out Tommy Mathey to have that early runner on base and nobody out. Counts even. Catney Forbes throws another outside. Now 2 balls on the count. Mathey with the count in his favor. Tommy Mathey batted .296 over at Panola with a .713 OPS. Not quite the same results in the PGCBL, but just starting to heat up over these last couple days. Just to keep it going. Shows bunt here, but pulls it back in time to take ball 3. 3-1 to Tommy Mathey. Real hitters count. If he walks here, would put 2 runners on, including the Panola teammate for Chris Gazaldo. Paul Delanto would be the lead runner in that situation. But we'll see what happens here. Delanto takes off on the swing and miss. Slides in just in time. Stolen base for Paul Delanto as the count fills up. That's his first of the season. Paul Delanto not known for his speed, but showing it there, as well as some smart base running. Mathey now has a runner in scoring position. He was driven in from second base on Saturday. Can he return the favor with the full count? Catney Forbes checks back on Delanto. Now a quick timeout before the payoff pitch. Delanto joins Gavin Boyle, Chris Gazaldo, Graydon Miller, Nick Past, and Shane Prey, as well as Liam Schott and Logan Stickler in the single stolen base club for these Americans. Catney Forbes, the payoff, just outside. Tommy Mathey takes ball 4. Runners on first and second anyways for Chris Gazaldo. Gazaldo had a big double the last time he played here. It was game 2 of the doubleheader. Scored the only run for the Americans with that 2-bagger. Last time the Americans were here, Gazaldo had forgotten his jersey, so was unable to play, but now was sure to remember it for this one. And back in the lineup at third base. Meeting on the mound with Catney Forbes. Richard Griffin out there to talk to him. We'll see if he keeps going here. I'd imagine he does. Hasn't been in all that long and has started some games here and there, so certainly has the longevity to go multiple innings. And Paul Delanto scurrying back to second base. He was thinking about third there. Chris Gazaldo looking to knock in some runs. Delanto's the lead runner. Mathey right behind him. Catney Forbes. It's a high chopper right to Kip. Look at the easy out at third, but no throw to first. Still runners on first and second. Fielder's choice will be out number 1 in this game. So it's Connor Kiefer up next with the runners on base. Now both Panola. 3-2 ball game. The Americans looking to build on it. Connor Kiefer. Bit of a shift on him here. Second baseman Kakeru Tsukamoto playing very close to second. Strike one on Kiefer down the pike. Kiefer looking to score these Panola base runners. Mathay on second, the lead runner now, and Gazaldo taking Mathay's spot on first after Delanto was tagged out at third on the fielder's choice. Catney Forbes checks back on Mathay, much speedier than Paul Delanto, a bigger threat to steal, and the pump fake by Catney Forbes will bring him right back to second. Similar move to what Luke Blandino tends to do in his starts to those runners on second. Catney Forbes checks back on Mathay again. He continues to inch towards third. He's now past the shortstop. And it's a foul tip for strike two. Mathay has to retreat. Tommy Mathay had cleared Carter Shin on his way to third. Would have likely had the steal had that not been fouled off. Mathay retaking that lead, and Connor Kiefer looking to add to what's been a hot streak for him. 7 for his last 15. Reached base once in this game when he got whacked. Tsukamoto going back and forth between second base and his usual spot. Foul ball over the press box to keep Kiefer alive with the 0-2 count. Connor Kiefer had a little 4-game hit streak going. That got snapped in game 2 against Elmira. But still a great stretch for Kiefer that he's looking to add to. It all started here in Canada on Wednesday evening. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Catney Forbes with Mathay on base as well as Gazaldo. It's a line shot foul down the third base line. Kiefer, if he was just a little later on the contact there, could have had extra bases. But instead, still up in this 0-2 hole, fighting to keep this at bat going. Kiefer struck out once today. It came looking, but also reached base on the hit by pitch. Got hit on the head by Derek Reesberry. Catney Forbes, another 0-2 coming up, but first checks on Mathay at second, and he scurries back in safely. A full throw that time around. No pump fake from Ethan Catney Forbes. Now resets to face the batter, Connor Kiefer. 1 strike away. Another liner. It's a rocket down the third base line. Foul. But unfortunately, Connor Kiefer going to have to keep going here. It's been a long at bat. Has jumped the gun a little bit on these last couple. Led to those foul balls. Catney Forbes, 0-2 pitch. Bounces in the dirt. Mathay thought about third, but will not go there as Marcus Butts makes a nice stop on the ball one from Ethan Catney Forbes. Slightly overcast here on this Monday evening in St. Kitts. Mathay and Gazaldo both with big leads on their bases now. Mathay really taunting the pitcher Catney Forbes, and it's an inside ball too. Catney Forbes had the 0-2 count on Connor Kiefer, and I think it's clear that Tommy Mathay has distracted the pitcher Ethan Catney Forbes as Connor Kiefer continues to bat here, and Count is now even at 2-2 as Ethan Catney Forbes loses his advantage in this at-bat. Mathay taken off again, and this time Connor Kiefer's hit. That's what happens when you divide your attention as a pitcher. And now the bases are juiced for Nick Past. Past already has a double on the day. Another extra base knock here could be huge for the Americans, really blow this game open. Already have the 1-run lead. Can take charge with some nice hitting from Past. And with one down, Grant Moore's on deck. So if Past can even just keep it going here in this top of the 6th inning, that's a success. That's a line shot into center field. Evans coming in to make the grab for out number 2. Tagging up to score, Tommy Mathay. The Americans up 4-2, and Grant Moore the chance to score some more runs. He comes up to bat with Kiefer on first and Gazaldo on second. Been 2 ducks on the pond most of this inning. Bases were briefly loaded, but that changed after the pass sac fly. Pass is now 1 for 1 with a sac fly and a hit by pitch. Quite the day from Nick. Grant Moore looking for his second hit of the day. It was a leadoff knock, so has yet to have a hit with runners on in this game. Americans still just 3 hits on the day. 1 for 9 with runners on base. Grant Moore, a fly ball in foul territory down the third base line. It's headed towards the Americans' bullpen. Bounces right in there and into the netting near the parking lot. Very smart to put netting there. Prevent some cars from getting hit. Haven't had any of that yet. Over at Sal Magley Stadium, Gavin Boyle hit one into the VIP box window last season. Window has still yet to be fixed. Catney Forbes, the 0-1 outside to even up the count on Grant Moore. A walk from Moore here loads the bases. A hit likely scores Gazaldo from second. Can Moore do either of those things to bring up Alan Ramos and continue this inning with 2 down? Catney Forbes delivers on the 1-1, and Grant Moore takes it again outside for a second ball on the count. Grant Moore looking for RBI number 26 of the season. And has the count in his favor here. Leverage against the pitcher, Catney Forbes. 2-1. Just in there on that low outside corner. 2s across the board to Grant Moore. So Catney Forbes 1 strike away here, but Grant Moore alive and fighting in this at-bat. Can he keep it up here on the 2-2 pitch? Another outside and low pitch. This time it's ball 3. Count is all filled up on Grant Moore. Chris Gazaldo looking to take third or possibly even score. Connor Kiefer right behind him at first base. Grant Moore, the man with the chance to advance him or even knock him in. Catney Forbes, the payoff pitch is right up the middle for the base hit. Grant Moore has his second knock of the day. Gazaldo scores. Kiefer in the third. It's runners on the corners for Alan Ramos. The Americans lead 5-2. Their 4th hit of the day. Grant Moore has half of those. Just continuing to show why he's one of the best players in this entire league, I would argue. Having seen every Americans game this season, that Grant Moore should be the MVP here in the PGCBL. Likely they'll give it to someone with some home runs this season. Grant Moore, not known as a home run hitter, but he's had plenty of extra base knocks. And now his 26th RBI to send Gazaldo home. Ramos takes ball 1 to start off this new at-bat with Moore on first and Kiefer on third. Connor Kiefer has taken a beating today. He's been hit twice. Throw to first is not in time to catch Moore. Graham Moore has second base wide open. Chance he could steal here for steal number 34 of the season. Very confident going from first to second on these base paths. Leads the league in steals, and he takes off. Ramos, the fly ball into shallow outfield. Matt Evans makes the grab in center for out number 3. So Grant Moore will not get that steal, and the inning is over, but the Americans score 2 to make it a 3-run lead headed into the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Back for the bottom of the 6th inning. Hudson Boring still pitching with the 5-2 lead. It's a low ball 1 to the first batter for the Ironbacks this inning, Andrew Bishop. He'll be followed up by Marcus Butts and Carter Kipp in this bottom of the 6th. Be Gavin Boyle due up for the Americans in the top of the 7th inning when they come back. Pop up in foul territory will go out of play into the stands for strike 1. And fans, an Americans game is a great way to bring your group together. The Americans have lots of options for group outings and fundraisers tailored to your group needs. It's another high pop-up, this time Gazaldo chasing it down from third, makes the grab for out number 1. But my apologies for the wrong graphic there. You can go to NiagaraFallsAmericans.com if you want to bring your group together at an Americans game. Nonprofits, churches, youth sports, and more for fundraiser events. Also an option. Foul ball for strike 1 on Marcus Butts. Butts on the day, he's 1 for 2 with an RBI. But 1 down. Chris Gazaldo had chased down a few foul balls, but finally getting to one on the foul side of the third base line. It was a little closer to the infield, so more his territory that time around. 0-2 pitch from Boring. High chopper right to Miller. It's an easy out number 2 for Graydon. So 2 quick outs in this bottom of the 6th. Carter Kipp, the final hope to avoid the 1-2-3 inning. Hudson Boring has only given up runs in 2 innings of this game. It was the first and the 4th. Boring has his pitch count at 80 through 5 2/3. That's pretty low for an almost 6-inning start. That's a breaking ball for strike 1 Broke a little lower to find that strike zone on Carter Kipp, the third baseman. 0-1 pitch is grounded right to Gazaldo at third. The throw across the field in time for out number 3. This Americans infield was busy, but they send the Ironbacks down in 1-2-3 fashion as Hudson Boring has gone 6 innings, giving up just 2 runs. We'll send it to the top of the 7th after the break.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
We welcome you back for the top of the 7th inning here on the Americans Baseball Network. Niagara Falls leading 5-2 in this game. 7th inning brought to you by Elks Lodge of Niagara Falls, Bikers Against Child Abuse, the Stauka Agency, and Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews. Didn't have Red Robin here, unfortunately, but did have a nice burger from the Ironbacks grill. Big shout out to the Ironbacks for their hospitality up in the press box. Always a nice meal on the broadcast. Gavin Boyle will start things out for the Americans this inning. Will be followed up by Graydon Miller and Paul Delanto. Boyle up for the 3rd time, 0 for 2 with a walk. Catney Forbes. It's a high chopper back to him. Sends it to first base. Instead tries to do it himself and gets the out. Gavin Boyle retired in just 1 pitch from Ethan Catney Forbes. Derek Reesberry was done after 4 innings in this game. Catney Forbes entering his 3rd inning of work. Facing Graydon Miller after he retires Boyle for the 3rd time today. Miller's already 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Can he get on for the first time today here? It's a low ball 1. That'll be a good start for Graydon. Miller, one of the 3 batters named a PGCBL All-Star for this Americans team. There were also 3 pitchers, including Hudson Boring, who's gone 6 strong in this game. Big cut and miss for Miller to even things up. 1's across the board to Graydon. Miller has 39 RBIs in 2 years as an American. Very impressive tally. Only Gavin Boyle rivals that at 41. Line shot into left center. Evans and the left fielder Phelan coming in. Phelan will get the out at second as he throws off the bounce. Graydon Miller thought he had the double, but no. A single and then out on the throw. So it will be the 5th hit of the day for the Americans, but also out number 2. Dropped in the deep outfield in the gap between Phelan and Evans, but Phelan was right next to it, guns it to second base, and gets Miller out. This is not the first time Miller has been out on his way for a double. Got to be careful when he tries for second in this PGCBL. Paul Delanto, a big cut and miss with 2 down. As Catney Forbes now finds himself 2 strikes away from retiring 3 consecutive batters. Catney Forbes. The 0-1 pitch will go low and away to Delanto. One's on the count and 2 down. Paul Delanto looking to extend this inning after Graydon Miller was just short of the double. The throw, unbelievable from Nolan Phelan. Another low ball to Pauly to make it 2-1. Kakaru Tsukamoto covering second base on the throw from Phelan. That was responsible for the second out, despite the Americans' 5th hit of the day. A low ball 3. Count is in the favor of Paul Delanto. Delanto 0 for 3, looking to reach base for the first time today. Can he do it here? Looking for a 4th consecutive ball from Catney Forbes. Catney Forbes has 2 strikeouts today. Both came swinging. That finds the inside edge for strike 2. Count is all filled up with 2 down. Ethan Catney Forbes looking to surpass Derek Reesberry in strikeouts in 1 less inning of work. Here's the payoff pitch in just a moment. He delivers, and it's a high chopper. Gets through the gap between Kip and Shin for the base hit. Paul Delanto, his first knock of the day, 6th for the Americans at large. And now Tommy Mathay, the chance to advance him with 2 down. Count filled all the way up, and then Delanto sent what appeared to be a routine grounder at first on some very hard contact into the outfield, right between Kip and Shin at third and short. Tommy Mathay looking for the second hit of the day, and it's strike 1 on the outside corner to Tommy. Mathay finds himself 3 for his last 5, a 2 for 3 day against the Pios on Sunday, and now 1 for 2 today, as well as a walk. 1-1 on the count. Tommy Mathay, chance to walk again. Tommy, product of Panola College, alongside the American starting pitcher Hudson Boring, and the batter on deck, Chris Gazaldo. Big cut and miss by Tommy. Catney Forbes is 1 strike away from ending this inning and stranding Delanto on first. The Americans are just 2 for 11 with runners on. They've still managed to score 5 runs. Wild pitches, free bags, helping them out. Catney Forbes, 1 strike away. Can he do it right here? It'll be ball 2 in the dirt. Gets away briefly from Butts. Delanto into second and safe. It was a close call, but the wild pitch puts 2s across the board and allows Delanto to steal. Another wild pitch for the Ironbacks. They've been costly all day long. And Paul Delanto in scoring position for Tommy Mathay. Last time in this situation, Mathay walked anyways. Well, we'll see what he can do here with the 2-2 count. Delanto dancing, taunting the pitcher Catney Forbes towards third base. It's what Tommy Mathay did an inning ago, and it worked, allowing Connor Kiefer to get hit by an errant pitch, allowing the Americans to score 2 runs in the top of the 6th inning. Mathay fouls that one off, keeps himself alive. 2's still across the board, including the number of Ironbacks runs. They're down by 3, though. 1 error apiece for these teams. The Ironbacks actually out-hitting the Americans 7-6, but the Americans have done a lot more with their hits. Ironbacks about the same with runners on, 3 for 12 on the day. High chopper, and goes right to Bishop for out number 3. Delanto stranded in scoring position, but the Americans still up 5-2 as we head to the bottom of the 7th after the break. We'll be right back.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Hudson Boring done after 6 innings. The Americans' new pitcher is Robert Leach. Leach on the season is 1-1 with a 6.16 ERA, 15 strikeouts, and 3 saves. Chance for the long save here if you can finish out this game. Coach Will Cordero listed him as the only relief pitcher that he anticipated bringing into this game. Austin Barton also in the building if the Americans need more, but Robert Leach hoping to finish this out with a few strong innings against these Ironbacks. It'll start with Nolan Phelan. Nolan Phelan will be followed up by Devin Medor and Caden Wilson, but takes strike 1 on the low inside corner to start off this inning. Phelan down on the count early. Sends that foul down the first base line for strike 2. And fans, the Americans would love to partner with your business. Lots of options to make your business known in your community. Please visit our website for more on that, as it's another foul ball by Phelan to keep it at 0-2. But you can join the sponsor reads here on the broadcast if your business wants to partner with these Americans. Leach sets for the 0-2. Now delivers a swing and a miss. Nolan Phelan, the first strikeout victim of Robert Leach. It's his second of the night. The first came against Hudson Boring. Devin Medor up next. And these are the same 3 batters that Hudson Boring struck out consecutively back in the second inning. Can Robert Leach do the same in this bottom of the 7th? Leach, product of St. John Fisher. Sends one inside. Some close shaving on Devin Medor. Leach, a rising junior at Fisher. Here's the 1-0. Finds the upper edge of the zone to put ones across the board. Leach looks to be at his best out of the pen tonight. Has always performed better in bullpen roles than as a starter for this team. Has seen a mix of both. Breaking ball fouled off on a rocket down the first base line, but 1-2 as it goes out of play. Devin Medor, 1 for 2 on the day. Struck out his first time up, then knocked in a run his second time up. On the third time through the order, what can he do? Swing and a miss right there. Sends him down. Second consecutive strikeout for Robert Leach to start off his day. The Americans have combined to strike out 8 Ironbacks in 6 2/3 innings as Caden Wilson looks to avoid being strikeout victim number 9, and the third for Leach. Wilson 0 for 2 with 1 strikeout looking already. First pitch from Leach, up and away for ball 1. So Wilson takes the early lead in the count. Product of Jamestown Community College. 1-0 pitch is in that same spot, up and away. Count now well in the favor of the batter, Wilson. Leach looking for that final out. Send down the Ironbacks 1-2-3. Breaking ball finds the outside edge of the zone for strike 1. That'll certainly help Leach's case. 2-1 pitch, breaking ball again. That is really working on that outside edge. Robert Leach has found his favorite spot on this strike zone. Can he strike out the side right here? Yes, he can. Swing and a miss. Caden Wilson chases that time on the outside corner. Americans send it to the top of the 8th. Ironbacks have scored just 2 runs the entire game. We'll be right back with the top of the inning after the break.
No, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks,
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
Bryce Bedrosian now in for Caden Wilson. That was actually him who struck out to end that 7th inning. But Robert Leach nonetheless strikes out the side. And it's the 8th inning here from George Taylor Field. Top of the 8th, as well as the entire 8th inning, brought to you by Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino, the official casino of the Americans. More winning, more comfort, more entertainment. Go to SenecaNiagaraCasino.com for more. And Bedrosian is not the only substitution for these Ironbacks. Eli Thompson coming out of the pen to replace Ethan Catney Forbes after 3 innings of work. Thompson 0-2 with a 7.94 ERA and 14 strikeouts this season. The Americans had Boyle, Miller, and Delanto due up last inning. Ended up bringing up Tommy Mathay as well. It'll be Chris Gazaldo to start things off. And this inning will be followed up by Connor Kiefer and Nick Past. Gazaldo, the 7-hitter for these Americans, sitting at 0 for 1 with a walk on the day.
American third baseman Chris Gazaldo.
Gazaldo, 306 hitter with a 716 OPS coming into the day. Average won't lower much with the 0 for 1 day so far. Check swing pulled back, but it's a strike anyways. That's a high chopper into the glove of Kip. The throw to first well in time for out number 1. Gazaldo now 0 for 2 on the night. Connor Kiefer up next. Kiefer, a 325 hitter with an 813 OPS headed into this game. Today 0 for 1 has been whacked twice, so has really taken a beating from that righty batter's box. I mean, Derek Reesberry was hitting tons of righties all night long, but even Catney Forbes hitting Kiefer once. Let's see what Eli Thompson can do against Connor. Breaking ball finds the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Kiefer Struck out the only time he wasn't hit by the pitch in this game. Can he get on for the first time without a hit by pitch? High chopper sent to Kip again. The throw to first, a little closer this time. Kiefer slides in safe. Andrew Bishop was off the bag and cannot lay down the tag on Kiefer. Kiefer beats that out just in time, and he's on first base with one down in this 8th inning. Nick Past up next. Grant Moore on deck. Past has been hit by the pitch, hit into a sac fly, and had a double. Kiefer will reach on the error there. Second of the day for the Ironbacks. Foul ball for Nick Past. Strike one on his count. Nick Past has only been retired once tonight and scored a run when he did. Thompson checks on Kiefer, who takes off for second base on the high ball. And Kiefer slides in, but he is gunned out. Tsukamoto lays down the tag for out number 2. Connor Kiefer, after speeding towards first and beating out the first throw, unable to beat out the second. Maybe a little gassed after that first run. But Connor Kiefer picked off, or rather caught stealing. Past is hit on the elbow. Nick Past has also taken a beating today, and now he's on first base for Grant Moore. Kiefer and Past have combined to be hit 4 times in this game. The Ironbacks' control of the strike zone has been all over the place. Thankfully, this defense, aside from a couple errors, has been very solid in preventing the damage for the Americans. Americans have also left a lot of runners on base. They're 2 for 12 with the runners on, 2 for 9 with them in scoring position, and strike one to Grant Moore. With Past, what do you know, on first base. Past has a lead towards second. Thompson checks back on him, now delivers on the 0-1. Big cut and miss. Eli Thompson 1 strike away. Would go down as his first strikeout of the day. Would also go down as his 15th of the season. If he can retire Grant Moore right here, this won't be an easy one. Moore is 2 for 4 today and takes the inside ball one that nearly gets away from Butts. A nice stop to prevent Past from taking second base. Ironbacks have to be careful here. Already down 3 runs. If the Americans score more, this game could start to get out of reach for them. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Grant Moore sent packing. Never mind, he got a piece of that to stay alive. Grant Moore hanging in there with the count at 1-2. Thompson checks on first. Now delivers on the 1-2. This one cut on and missed. Just misses Grant Moore's bat. He's sent packing to send it to the bottom of the 8th inning. Americans still lead by 3. Robert Leach looking to keep them in this game. We'll be right back with the bottom of the inning.
My fellow American fans, my name is Frankie Morris, your social media manager. You can join us all summer long with many promotional nights and tickets just as low as $10. You can call and get tickets at 716-215-6161 and take a crack at the action.
Bottom of the 8th inning, and we want to thank everyone who tuned into today's game, but a reminder that an Americans game is a great way to bring your group together. Whether it be a school, church, business, or youth sports organization, the Americans are able to offer great options, even picnics for your organization or business. Reserve your group online at www.niagarafallsamericans.com. And the Ironbacks set to start off this inning with another pinch hitter. Bryce Bedrosian just pinch hit for Caden Wilson in the bottom of the 7th. And now Brock Granger coming up to face Robert Leach. And Hudson Boring was excited for a potential matchup with Brock, but unfortunately pulled from the game before Granger enters. Possible that had something to do with the fact that the Ironbacks know that Boring knows Granger, knows how he operates, and it's ball 1 outside to Brock. Still 2 Panola players in the field to face the Panola hitter, Granger. Mathay in right, Gazaldo at third, and that's a high pop-up into foul territory. Miller and Kiefer chasing it down, and it goes into the bullpen for the Ironbacks. 1-1. Kiefer and Miller were up against the wall, ready to make that grab, but not going to need to. Goes out of play for strike 1. Brock Granger batting for the first time today. He's .243 on the year with a .732 OPS, 1 homer, 5 RBIs. Granger, a Toronto Mets alum, headed into his second year at Panola. Fouled off down the third base line this time around, a dribbler for strike 2. Leach looking for his 4th consecutive strikeout. Matt Evans, the leadoff man, on deck. This would be a big moment for punch out number 4. 1-2 pitch is fouled off, and Granger stays alive for the time being. Leach just the second pitcher in for the Americans. The Ironbacks already on their 3rd pitcher. Used Reese Berry and Katney Forbes over the first 7 innings, and now Eli Thompson in. Check swing, and he did go on that one. Strike 3. Robert Leach has his 4th strikeout in a row. He's been unbelievable. Matt Evans looking to avoid being the next victim. Matt Evans, a .133 hitter coming into the day, but today 1 for 3 to increase that batting average a bit. Outside for ball 1 on the low end. So low outside corner from Leach to Past. Evans will not bite. 1-0 pitch swung on and missed as Evans chases the low pitch to put ones across the board. Robert Leach has had some great moments this season, but this is just about the sharpest he's looked all year for these Americans. Can he keep it up here? Breaking ball stays outside, and it's 2-1. Leach looking to rebound from that pitch and refine this strike zone. I mean, maybe thought Evans would chase on that one, but the hope was for it to drop a little lower. High pop-up foul and out of play for strike 2. Matt Evans looking to get on for the 2nd time today. But Leach so far has had perfection on the mound. That's a line shot into left field, and it's caught by Gavin Boyle for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down for these Ironbacks in the 8th inning. No 5th strikeout for Leach, but a 5th consecutive batter retired as Carter Shin looks to break the streak. If anyone's going to do it, it's Carter Shin. He's 2 for 3. Came in batting .372. That's only gone up tonight. And Leach looking to retire him anyways, but it will not be easy. Breaking ball just upstairs for ball 1. Leach was looking for that to break back down into the strike zone. Doesn't quite get there in time. 1-0 pitch is upstairs again. A little higher the 2nd time around, and it's an early 2-ball count to Carter Shin. Shin. Played in the NYCBL last summer for Dansville. Now here with the Ironbacks this summer. Back in his home country. He's from Burlington, Ontario. Has the 3-0 count. Leach looking to avoid the 4-pitch walk-on Shin here. Would break up his streak of consecutive batters retired. Not what you want to see for the Americans. But it will drop low, and it's ball 4 to Shin. A 4-pitch walk. Night and day for Leach after 5 great batters faced and 5 consecutive batters retired to start things off. Alex Keene up next, looking to advance Shin. But Leach going to get out of this inning unscathed. Had a scoreless 7th when he struck out the side. Looking to make it a scoreless 8th as well. Leach does not even check on Shin. It's a foul ball down the left side for Alex Keene. Foot strike 1 on the count. And I mean, not quite the chaos at Sal Magley that happens on foul balls. Not quite that level of chaos here, but still some kids chasing after him. Back at Sal Magley, foul balls can be exchanged for snacks. Leach throws one low to even up this count. Alex Keene, one of the most experienced hitters on this team, rising junior at Division I Morehead State. Big cut and miss there for strike 2. Robert Leach, 1 strike away from ending this inning right here and getting his 5th strikeout of the day in just 7 batters faced. Can he do it with the 1-2 count? He sets for the pitch. Won't even check back on Shin before he delivers. High pop-up. Ends up more of a deeper fly ball into the shallow outfield. Grant Moore makes the grab for out number 3. So Robert Leach gets out of this inning facing just 4 more batters. He's been dominant against these Ironbacks. The Americans, we're going to put this game to bed in the 9th when we're back.
Fans, if you've been to a game, you know that I give away pizza to a lucky fan in the middle of the 3rd inning. But what you might not know is that Sammy's is located right across the street. They've also been family owned and operated for 3 generations since 1962 and originated the half tray of pizza. But if you're hungry at the game, you can stop by the concession stand and get a slice of Sammy's for yourself.
Top of the 9th inning here from George Taylor Field. Devin Medor taking over at second base for Kakaru Tsukamoto. This 9th inning brought to you by Casella, by Salino Plumbing, Blaze Brockway Contracting, and Wright Beverages. Provider of all alcoholic beverages at the barbershop every home game. Americans will be back at home tomorrow against the Batavia Muck Dogs. First pitch at 6:30, just like this one. We'll have all the coverage here on the Americans Baseball Network. Alan Ramos will kick things off against these Ironbacks in the 9th inning, followed up by Gavin Boyle and Graydon Miller. All three of them have double-digit RBI tallies, looking to add to them. First pitch to Ramos, inside edge for strike one. There's a promotion here at George Taylor Field. If the Ironbacks serve up a donut in this top of the 9th, meaning no runs scored, everybody in the stands gets a free donut. It almost reminds me of the McCafe Frappe promotion at South Magley. But extra motivation for Eli Thompson. Fans go home happy if he can serve up a donut here to Ramos, Boyle, and Miller. 1-1 pitch to Allen is upstairs, makes it 2-1. Alan Ramos. The 2-1 pitch is a ground ball to Bishop right at first base, and he makes an easy tag for out number one. Alan Ramos just hitting that one to the wrong spot. Andrew Bishop makes the tag. One down, and Gavin Boyle up next. Boyle just coming off his PGCBL Player of the Week award, but a bit of a slow night for him. 0 for 3 with a walk. Chance to change that here. Funny enough, has done best this season with the bases empty. A couple of his home runs coming that way. So bases empty here. We'll see what Boyle can do with Thompson pitching. Foul ball over everything into the stands for strike one. Sun is really starting to set here at George Taylor. Lights are on, and they are bright for these two teams. Will be a save situation for Robert Leach when he comes back out in the bottom of the 9th. Inside ball one, but one's across the board to Gavin. Boyle came into this game batting over 300 with a 934 OPS. Looking to keep it there with a big knock here. Outside ball two. Gavin, the 3-hitter in this order, looking to show why he's in this spot, show his power. He's had 10 extra base hits this season. Can he hit his 11th right here? All right, now a low ball 3. Count is in Boyle's favor. Pitch from Thompson, up and away. Gavin Boyle on base for the second time today, but both have come on walks. Graydon Miller up next. With one on and one out, Miller the chance to get on base technically for the first time. He is 1 for 4, but that one hit was a single where he was tagged out on the throw, headed to second base. Foul ball right behind the plate for strike one, goes into the stands and over the stands. Miller is down in the count. Pitch from Thompson inside to make ones across the board to Graydon Miller. The 1-1 pitch is fouled off for strike two. Thompson looking for his second out with Boyle on first. Miller. The 1-2 pitch coming up from Eli Thompson to him. Looking for a second hit and looking to stay on the base paths this time. Takes one inside, though, to even up the count. Miller. was tagged out at second his last time up. Can he redeem himself here with the count even? Gavin Boyle already on first base. Paul Delanto on deck. So a tough part of the order for Thompson to face. Sent down the third base line, cut off by Kip. Out at second, made by Mador, but headed into first to take Boyle's spot. Graydon Miller on the fielder's choice. 2 down, Paul Delanto up with a runner on. Delanto, 1 for 4 today as well. That hit came his last time up to bat. So an 0 for 3 start to the day. Also had a couple of strikeouts against Elmira, but after that hit last time up, looking to heat back up for these Americans. Outside on the breaking ball for ball 1 to Polly. Delanto, the rising sophomore at Stony Brook, looking to earn playing time there when he heads back in the fall. Did not play in his freshman year, but been a strong summer here for the Americans. He's driven in 21 runs, had a huge grand slam against the Red Wings. It's been a little bit cold of late, but still a 689 OPS. Pretty solid for this league's standards. Not everybody is a power hitter. Delanto, plenty of power, but also his fair share of mistakes. Thompson and Butts conferencing on the mound, figuring out how to finish this at bat on Delanto. Miller's the new runner on first base. Delanto looking to advance him. And this part of the order, a lot of power, but not necessarily the part of the order that's going to give you speed. So the Americans going to need some extra base knocks here if they want to expand their lead. Delanto, though, gets hit on the shoulder. Now 2 ducks on the pond, and Tommy Mathey coming up. Mathey is 1 for 3 with a walk. He's gotten on twice already. Gets on here, and the bases could either be juiced or the Americans could have themselves a 4-run lead. Mathey, the first of 2 consecutive Panola hitters in this Americans order. We'll see if Gazaldo gets the chance to come up. Americans threatening for some 2-out runs. Paul Delanto just got hit to advance Miller to second. He has a lead towards third. So Miller on second base for the first time today. And it's ball 1 to Tommy Mathey. Another Dr. Seuss rhyme unintentionally here on the broadcast. But it's okay, I rhyme all the time. Fly ball into left field. Phelan makes the grab for out number 3. End of the top of the 9th here. Robert Leach will look to close out this game for a save in 2 different ways. 3-run lead for the Americans and also his 3rd inning of work. We'll be right back with that inning.
You know, I'm kind of thirsty.
Me too. We could really use something.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yankee Doodle Dan.
That's better.
We bring you back for the bottom of the 9th inning. The Americans looking for win number 23 of the season. Robert Leach, the man ready to close this out. And the Ironbacks set to bring up their middle of the order to face him. Andrew Bishop will be first up. Be followed up by Marcus Butts and Carter Kipp. Can they get the Ironbacks back in this game, or will Robert Leach finish this out strong and give the Americans the win? A win in this game would guarantee that the Americans finish at least 500 this season, and at the pace they're going, most likely to exceed that. The real tests will come after this game. If they can carry their momentum beyond this one, it will do wonders for their spot in the standings. They will face the top two teams in the league, over at least the West Division, over the next 2 days. It's a low strike one to the batter Bishop. Muck Dogs tomorrow at Sal Magley, and then a 3-game set against Jamestown. Line shot in the left field. Basket catch by Gavin Boyle for out number 1. So 1 up, 1 down for the Ironbacks. It was a nice shot, but Boyle was right there. Marcus Butts, the catcher, up for the 4th time today. He's 1 for 3 with an RBI single and a strikeout. What will Leach be able to do against him here? Breaking ball finds the outside corner for strike 1. So 1 strike, 1 out. So the batter Butts, product of University of Mary. Pop foul into the stands to make it 0-2 on this count. Robert Leach making quick work in this 9th inning. If he can keep this up, would be excellent, not only for him in this game, but also to save his arm for the future. He's at 36 pitches right now. That ball 1 gets away from pass, but doesn't matter. No runners on base. Count still in Leach's favor, so as long as he can refine the strike zone here, he's in good shape. Bishop just lined out. What will Butts do with the 1-2 count? He swings and misses. Never mind, it was just a minor piece of it. So Marcus Butts, for the time being, stays alive, but Leach bringing the heat. And forces a swing and miss there. Butts chases the low strike 3 on the breaking ball. Robert Leach getting that going. It was a fastball followed by a breaking ball to strike out Butts. Fooled him on that curve. And now Carter Kipp up to bat. The 3rd baseman for these Ironbacks. Takes a strike on the inside corner to start this off. The 0-1 pitch is lined into center field. Grant Moore makes the final catch to finish up this ball game. The Americans win 5-2 over the Ironbacks. And they will hope to carry this momentum into the rest of their week. They'll take on the Batavia Muck Dogs tomorrow at 6:30. We'll have all that coverage at Sal Magley Stadium right here on the Americans Baseball Network. That'll be followed up by a 3-game series home road home with the Jamestown Tarp Skunks. Those were the top 2 teams in the standings entering the night. The Americans at 23-13 now tie Jamestown for the number 2 spot in the standings. So a big set of games coming up for these Americans, but for now, we thank everyone who tuned in to tonight's game. Some great fans tuning into the broadcast. Special shout-outs to Tyron Bullpen, Pucker 6, Jackson, Derek J. They have been pretty much in every live chat of every broadcast we've had this season. Some of our most dedicated fans here on the broadcast. Also a big thank you to the families watching, including the Moore family, always tuning into this broadcast. But for now, this has been Americans Baseball. I'm your play-by-play broadcaster, Andrew Roberts, signing off from St. Kitts. Final score, Americans 5, Ironbacks 2. Thank you.